first thing that I did with this example of a circle? Kyle.
You drew the line.
I drew the line. Okay? That line has a specific vocab word that I'm going to write on the board. Okay? So this line is called my radius. Let me spell it for you. R-A-D-I-U-S. Excellent job, Kyle. After I drew that line, what did I do next? Joshua.
You drew a 4 above the line.
Okay, what do you think that 4 represents now that we know the name of this line? The radius, right? Excellent job, Joshua. 4 is the length of my radius. Okay? What did I do after that? I want to hear, I've heard a lot from Kyle and Joshua so far in this example. Let's get a new hand. Keith, what did I do after that?
You did 8 equals the height thing and 4 square.
Perfect. First off, twin power. Totally finished his sentence with filling in that pi symbol. Excellent job. But yes, Keith, the next thing I did is I wrote A equals pi, 4, and then the square. Excellent job breaking that down. Also, in case you didn't catch what Keith and Kyle just did there, that symbol is called pi. Now, in middle or elementary school, you may have heard that this symbol is equal to 3.14. As a quick note, we don't know the exact value of pi. It actually goes on for forever. So right now, in Algebra 2, we're just going to keep that symbol as pi. Okay? So never in doing these problems am I going to ask you to then multiply it by 3.14. I'm instead asking that you just keep that symbol there. So what I want you to do is think about it in terms of a variable. That's just a quick side note. All right, Keith brought us to the point where we finally solved here. What was the last thing that I did? Joshua.
You equally did a pass down and the 16 next to it.
Perfect. I'm going to ask you though, where did I get 16 from?
You got 16 from 4 square.
All the way over there. Excellent job. I got 16, and yeah, I can't even believe this keep on this way. I get 16 from getting 4 squared. So now that we have done that, let's rewind and figure out what formula did we just use. Okay? So Keith brought us to the point where I finally started solving for my area. I had A equals. What else? Who can keep building this formula for how we're going to find the area of a circle? What came afterward? Joshua. Before that.
The line.
Okay. Who wants to just, and again, you can just shout it out. Who wants to jump in with what Joshua was trying to say right now? The radius. Who thinks that they can give me a variable that I can use instead of writing out the word radius? What can I use instead? R. I'm going to use R. Okay? But before I put the R there, there is that symbol that we were talking about that's very important for circles. So I'm going to say A equals pi. I'm going to put an R there. Now, what did I do to that R? And before I have anyone from this area of the room shout out, I haven't heard a lot from this area. So I'm going to look over here for what did I do to the R? Okay. What do you see in the example? What did you see me do with our radius of 4? I did that in the circle, yep. I'm looking right here. What did I do to this 4 to eventually then get to our answer of 16?
Oh, you multiply.
I multiply it. What did I multiply it by?
4 by itself. 4 times itself.
Excellent job. 4 times itself. Who from over here can rephrase that? What do we call when we multiply a number by itself? Keith.
4 square.
Square. Okay? So, first off, excellent job, Deontay, in working through that. and getting to see that it was 4 squared that got us through 16. An excellent job, Keith, in completing that for him and making it squared. So I'm actually done now. That is my entire area. I now need someone to help me write this out in words. So what is the words version of our area formula? Tier, help me out with the first part. What does A equal? Or what does A stand for, sorry? A stands for, I think that what you're doing is you're confusing it with a previous shape that we looked at. But what does just the letter A stand for what we're learning today?
Area.
Perfect. Excellent job, Tier. And thank you everyone for having your hands up ready to help Tier do that. So I'm going to have area equals. I now have just some bonus points. Who knows how to spell pi in this context? Yasha.
P-I.
Boom. Good job. P-I. But for the sake of practicing drawing this symbol, I'm going to draw it below it. Okay? Excellent job, Yasha. Alright, so I have pi that I'm multiplying it by my radius. And I'm going to keep drawing that squared symbol. And with that, I am completely done with this row of our formula graphic organizing. Okay? I'm going to leave this up here for about 20 more seconds so that you can fully get this before we move on to our next shape. Alright, let's move on to our example now for triangles. So again, I'm going to work through this example silently. You are going to be writing down what you see me do. Then we're going to have a conversation to build our formula. Okay? Alright, so here we go. I'm going to start by drawing my shape. As I draw, you are drawing the shape. Okay, and now that our shape is drawn, I'm going to begin silently working through this as you start writing what you're seeing me doing. Alright, there we go. Now I'm silent. Now you're going to give me your eyes to let me know that we can move on to discussing this example. Alright, what was the first thing that I did here? Alright, Yasha's hand went straight up. But I want to see if I can get a new voice. Tiara, yes. What was the first thing that I did here?
First you do the triangle, then you write the numbers 1, 6, and then you wrote the area, and you wrote equal sign, a half times 6.
I'm so proud of you. You are just running with what I did. I'm just going to pause you so that we can just kind of break that up a little bit more, okay? But I'm very proud of you just taking that and running with it. So yes, the first thing that I did was I drew my triangle, and then I labeled my sides, okay? This was 6, and this was 4, okay? After that, you're absolutely right. I wrote A equals, A being my area. After that, I wrote 1/2. What did I do after I wrote 1/2? Cut.
1/2 times 6 times.
Pause right there. Times, right? My operation here is multiply. I put a times right there, and then 6. Kyle, where did that 6 come from?
The bottom.
The bottom of the triangle. So first off, Kyle is absolutely right. That's where it came from. It's one of the sides of our triangle. But I'm really happy that he used the word bottom because that leads us into the vocab word that we're going to be using for describing this number. Right? We're going to call that our base. I'm going to go ahead and write it here so that it completes our visual. So I'm going to say base. Good. And as I write, you wrote that down. Excellent. Let's come back to me solving the example. After I wrote times 6, what did I write next? Keith.
You did times 4
Pause. Where did that 4 come from?
the side.
The side. Who thinks that they know what I can call that side? I gave my bottom or my base a name. What's a name I could use for that 4? Yasha, what do you think?
The wall.
The wall. I love it. Why does it look like a wall to you?
Because it's up and you can. I think it's up and you can push it down.
You get okay. So it's up. It's very sturdy. What do we know about walls? Are walls pretty tall sometimes? Okay. We're going to use that to remember what we're going to call it in terms of our official geometry, which is going to be height. But I really love that Yasha put his own spin on it. Right? So when I think about walls, I think of tall. I think of tall in terms of height, and that's what I'm going to call my 4. Okay? So Yasha, you are more than welcome on all of your papers to write wall. If you'd like to, you can also write height. Okay? But I will accept wall because I like that. So I'm going to label this right here height. So coming back to where Keith brought us, I then multiplied by 4. Let's keep breaking it down. What did I do after I multiplied by 4? Diate.
You put equal sign, put 24 divided by 2, you got 12.
Good. Where did 24 come from?
The problem is you multiply 6 times 4 to give you 24.
Perfect. Where did that 2 come from? Why is it over 2?
Because
You got it. Work through it. Where did you see the 2 before?
anyone have
Excellent. Excellent job, Diate. I saw 1/2 here. Multiplied my numerators to get 24. What was still in my denominator, though?
2.
The 2. Did this. What was my answer?
12.
Perfect. Excellent job. All right, let's come over here and let's put this together in terms of letters. Again, what is my first letter going to be? The area. I'm going to put A. Excellent job, Kyle. After